Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto dessert recipe for you. Today I am going to show you how to make the easiest keto meringue cookies. Now a lot of people are intimidated to try to make meringue or meringue cookies because they hear horror stories about everything has to be just so or your meringue is not going to turn out. I guess in some incidences that's the truth, but the way I am going to show you how to make it is going to take all of the guesswork out of making meringue, and your meringue and meringue cookies will turn out perfect every time. And the great thing about this recipe is if you don't want to make the meringue into cookies, you can use this meringue recipe for meringue pies or any recipe that calls for meringue. This will work. You'll just most likely have to double it for a pie recipe, but it will work in any recipe that you are wanting to make a meringue for. So if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out videos, at least every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 225 degrees. Line 2 large baking sheets with parchment paper and set them aside for a minute. In a large mixer bowl, place 84 grams or around 7 tablespoons of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You do not want to adjust this because it's important that you have the right amount of sweetener ratio in order for your cookies to come out right. So do not add more, do not add less. Add 24 grams or around 3 tablespoons of egg white protein powder. Whisk the sweetener and the egg white powder together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps. Attach your whisk attachment to your standing mixer. Then turn the mixer on to low. Gradually pour in 83 milliliters or around 6 tablespoons of room temperature water. Just do this small amounts at a time. Pour in a little bit, let it beat in a little bit, then add a little bit more, let it beat in until all 83 milliliters have been added. Once the water's fully added, if you want to, you can add some flavored extract to give your meringue cookies a actual flavor. I'm using a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can use whatever flavor you want. If you want it to be mint flavored, you can use some mint extract, orange extract, whatever flavor you want your meringue to be. That would be the flavoring that you would add if you want to add any. Once the water and extract have been added, then gradually increase the speed of your mixer to medium-high. Make sure you just do this gradually. If you go straight from low speed right into medium-high speed, it can cause too much air to get into the mixture and then your egg whites won't stiffen up the way they should. So just gradually move it up. Once it's at medium-high speed, then beat on medium-high for 5 to 8 minutes. Now you'll notice that I use egg white powder as opposed to actual egg whites. This is what makes the meringue so much easier. One, I don't have to separate the egg whites from the egg yolks and then try to figure out what in the world I want to do with the egg yolks. And when using egg white powder, your meringue dries out a whole lot faster, which is really important when you're making meringue cookies. You want the meringue to dry quickly and completely. So that's why I prefer to use egg white protein powder as opposed to regular egg whites, because this to me is the key that makes making meringue so much easier. Once you've gradually increased your mixer to medium-high, then continue to beat on medium-high for 5 to 8 minutes or until stiff peaks have formed. After 5 to 8 minutes and your egg whites have been beat to stiff peaks, the way you know that the meringue is beaten to stiff peaks is when you detach your whisk attachment, the peak on the end of the whisk and the peaks inside of your bowl should not be drooping over. They should be holding their shape upright. I don't know if you can see this on the top of my whisk attachment here. See how it is staying in one place? It's not moving at all. The tip of it is staying straight up. It's not drooping over. That's how you know that your meringue has been beaten enough. There should be no movement. When you take your bowl and you go to flip your bowl on its side, your meringue should not move. It should not fall out. It should be staying in one place. Once your meringue has been beaten to the proper peaks and it's nice and stiff, if you want to, you can add some food coloring. If you want your meringue to be pink or blue or whatever color, if you want to add some coloring, you can do that. I'm leaving mine just white. Scoop the meringue into a piping bag or a piping gun with whatever size or shape of the tip that you want it to be. I like to use either the wide star shape or the wide round tip when I'm piping my cookies out. It's up to you, whatever shape or size you're going to want your cookies. That would be the shape of tip that you would put on the end of your piping bag. Pipe the cookies out to your desired size and shape onto your prepared baking sheets. If you don't have a piping bag or a piping gun, then just spoon it out with the tablespoon, 1 to 2 tablespoons at a time onto your baking sheets. When it comes to meringue cookies, you really don't have to put them in any particular shape or anything like that. They're just basically a drop cookie for the most part. When you are piping these out on your baking sheet, make sure you are keeping your cookies roughly around the same size, and make sure you are leaving a little bit of space in between each cookie. These cookies don't rise or expand or anything like that, but you do want to keep some space around them for a nice even cook. One of the keys to meringue cookies is making sure that they get completely dried. So you want to make sure that while they're baking, the airflow can get completely around all sides of each one of the cookies to dry them all out evenly. So make sure you leave a little bit of space in between each one of the cookies. Once the cookies have all been piped out, place them in your preheated oven and bake at 225 degrees for 1 hour or until the cookies are firm. After an hour, turn off your oven. Do not open the door. Leave it shut completely. Let the cookies sit in your warm oven for another hour or until they are fully dried. This is another key step to having the perfect meringue cookie. You have to let the cookies dry completely. So make sure you leave it in there for that full extra hour so it can completely dry from the outside in. After another hour and the cookies have fully dried, remove them from your oven, place them on a wire rack, and if there is any warmth left in them, let them cool completely before you serve them. Once the cookies have cooled completely and they're 100% dry, you can serve them immediately. If you do have any leftovers, store them in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 1 week. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.